All right, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's out there staying motivated and accomplishing their goals, whatever they may be. Today, we're going to talk about the standing power throw as part of the Army Combat Fitness Test, the ACFT. If you're anything like me, this is the exercise during the ACFT that really trips you up the most. It's not that it's hard to train up for the strength that's required to actually perform the exercise, but it's difficult to find the form and find the momentum to actually drive the ball a whole 12.5 ridiculous amount of meters and actually achieve that maxi score on this event. This is the event for me personally that always holds me back by just a few points for a 600 score total on the ACFT. But I finally hacked it. I've got the cheat codes for you and we're gonna go over them now. So first I wanna go over proper form, proper technique, and how you can drive that momentum for your body in order to launch the ball as far as possible. And then I wanna throw a few hacks at you that you might not have thought of that's gonna help you tremendously during this exercise, all right? So first things first, you're gonna come up to the line when you're doing your ACFT at your unit, all right? And this is not the standard line, right? But this is just for reference for you guys. When you come up to the line, I want you to come up to the line, put your heels on it, and then come up off the line about 6 inches, okay? So this is gonna give you enough standoff so that when you actually do the throw and do that little bit of a hop, that you come backwards and still have enough room where you don't cross the line and penalize yourself during the exercise. So that's really important, 6 inches off the line when you come up to the line to perform the throw. All right, so you're up on the line, you're gonna grab the ball. And when you grab the ball, this is actually one of the things that's been tripping me up for the longest time. A lot of people out there, a lot of soldiers, they'll end up grabbing the ball from the sides like this, all right? Well, all that's doing is forcing you to expel extra strength at the arms and at the shoulders and even at the chest as you're doing this exercise. And you don't have very good grip on the ball. And it's harder for you to release it once it goes over your head. So what I want you to get into the habit of doing from now on is holding the ball from the bottom, as far at the bottom as possible. Like your hand should be touching at the bottom. And when you hold the ball, you're just sort of resting the ball, cradling it with your fingers, but you're putting minimal strength into this hold at the arms and at the forearms, at the shoulders. Everything here that's holding the ball is just for stability purposes only, okay? Don't waste any strength with holding the ball. All right, so you're holding the ball at the bottom. Now, when you're doing your practice warm-up movements like this, I want you to minimize these movements. Only do about somewhere between 3 or 5. If you do more than that, then you're just wasting energy, okay? But as you're doing this, make sure you're focusing on proper form and remembering that it's a momentum-driven movement. This is not, it's not a squat. It's not a bend over, hunch over, and throw it with your arms. All the momentum and all the power for this throw is going to stem from the core of your body. So that's what you need to be focusing on. And when you launch, you're going to have so much power that it forces you to jump up and backwards about 6 inches. Okay, so that's what we did this little standoff for. And then remember that when it does go over your head, you're launching the ball over your head, but as far back as possible too. You don't want to be launching it up. When you launch the ball, think of it as launching it at like a 70-degree angle, okay? It shouldn't be 45, it shouldn't be 90, it should be somewhere in the middle, okay? So that's how we're gonna do it. So I'm focusing on my form, making sure I'm using a hinging motion. It's not a squat, just like a kettlebell swing. And launch. Look at that, right at the line, through the ball. And that was actually a really good throw. And that's how I want you to focus on how the form should go and the proper technique that you should be using when doing the standing power throw. Remember, all the momentum is being driven from your core. Your shoulders shouldn't be used at all, really, just for stability. And it's not a squat, it's a hinging motion, just like a kettlebell swing. All right, so that's gonna bring us into the next part of the video, and that is alternate exercises that you can do to help you to get better at this standing power throw event. And these exercises are really gonna help you to feel that leverage, that momentum feeling that I keep talking about, where that power is supposed to be driven from. That's the things that we're going to be training with these alternate exercises. So they're really important that you actually start using them. All right, guys, so we're in the gym. We're going to go over 3 specific exercises, and all these exercises are going to be equally important, and they're all super critical for this event, and you got to make sure you get them all right. So I want to show you how they're done and give you some tips on how you can make sure that you're performing them correctly without just a visual that I'm giving you. All right, so the first exercise that we're gonna hit up is the barbell good morning, okay? Let's see what this is gonna look like. So with this exercise, there is a tendency to load up on the weight, I guess just because you're using a barbell and it just seems natural to load up on the weight. But I want you to refrain from doing that, okay? Because what you're really doing with this exercise is practicing that tilting motion that you perform during the standing power throw, okay? So this is strengthening those muscles and just getting you used to actually bending at the hips and not performing a squat, okay? Strengthening the hamstrings, strengthening the glutes, and a little bit of the quads, all right? So here we go. So you come up on the bar, rack it on your back. You want to keep your legs straight and about shoulder width apart. This isn't like super far apart. They should be about shoulder width apart. And then the exercise is going to look like this. A little bit of bend, a little bit of use of the hamstrings, a lot of work at the lower back, and then back up. So you're tilting forward and then coming back up. And you'll feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings when you do this. And you'll see that even with the low weight, this can be a difficult exercise to perform correctly. And it really does give you a nice burn. All right. And it's okay. I would recommend that if you've never done those before, I would recommend that you start with just the bar itself. That'll help you start to get the motion down and really understand that feeling with that burn, that pull in the hamstrings I was talking about. That's what you're looking for. That'll let you know that you're doing this exercise correctly. So the next couple exercises, we're going to be using the med ball, okay? And this is going to be the same standard med ball, 10 pounds, that you would use during the ACFT for the standing power throw. The first exercise is going to be the med ball power jump, okay? And it's going to look like this. You're going to grab your 10-pound medicine ball, get about shoulder width apart, same stance that you would use for the SPT event. Touch the ball to the ground, and then squat jump up, and then also using that momentum and that power that we keep talking about from your core to drive the ball up over your head. All right, here it goes. And then back down to the starting position. Remember, most of this power is coming from my core. I'm obviously doing a squat jump as well, but I'm focusing a lot on my core to help me power jump up, all right? And you really want to get a strong jump as you do this. And for that, you're looking at 3 sets of 10 reps each. That should get you to where you need to be. All right, and then the last critical exercise that you guys should be integrating into your routine when training for the SPT is going to be, lo and behold, the kettlebell swing. All right, I'm like always talking about the kettlebell swing when you're training for the SPT. You should be adding kettlebell swings as often as possible into your workout regimen, all right? I usually will do them at the front end or sometimes the back end of the workout, just to help me get like either a good warm-up burn or a good burnout at the end of a workout session. But either way, super important exercise to be doing, especially when it comes to training for the SPT. And the reason why it's so important is because the motion that you're actually performing during the standing power throw is exactly the same motion as what you're doing with the kettlebell swing. So this is really the best exercise that you could do to help you get ready to max the SPT. All right, so if you're not familiar with the kettlebell swing, or if you're not exactly sure if you're doing it right, if you're doing it already, this is how it should look. Feet should be shoulder width apart, okay? Just enough room to get the kettlebell, enough room to be swinging in between your legs. Put the kettlebell right in between your feet. And I like to use a 40-pound kettlebell, really because that's just enough weight to really allow me to focus on moving the weight with my core. And it's also the same amount of weight that you use for the sprint drag carry, so you might as well get used to using it. Bend forward at the waist. All right, grab the kettlebell, come up a little bit, and when you have a slight bend in the lower back, that's when you start your swinging motion. Now remember, all the swing, all the momentum should be stemming all in your core. The shoulders, the hands, it's all just for stability. All right, this is what it's going to look like. My core is what's driving this weight up and over my head. If I wasn't holding on to it, the kettlebell would be going up to the sky. Now there's 2 different variations of a kettlebell swing. There's the Russian variation and the American variation. The one I was just doing, the one that actually goes up and over your head, that's the American variation. That's the one I want you to work up to because that's going to give you the most bang for your buck when you're training for the SPT event specifically. Now the Russian variation would really just go up to about eye level. If you're new to the kettlebell swing, I would recommend that you start doing it like this so that you don't hurt your shoulders. And once you feel confident that you're not relying on your shoulders to do any of this work, that's when you can allow the weight to go higher and keep stabilizing with the shoulders and the arms. All right, guys, so that is it. All the tips and hacks that you need to know in order to max the standing power throw event for the ACFT. All right, if you start putting all of those tips to work as you are conducting your train up for the standing power throw, you are gonna see a dramatic difference in your score overall for that event. These are the things that I've been doing in order to max the event. These are the exercises that you'll find inside the Gritty Soldier 8-week ACFT train-up plan, and there's a reason for that. These exercises actually work. We're gonna keep going down the list of different events during the ACFT to train up for and how you should be properly training up for them. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss those future videos. They're coming soon. If you haven't seen the video about the maximum deadlift event, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that one right here. Besides that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my workout for the day, and I will see you on the next one.